Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at McFarlane Toys' The Walking Dead TV series, Series 4, I believe this is, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to be looking at the Governor, Andrea, Carl, and Riot Gear Zombie. Now, there are two Riot Gear Zombies in this wave. I only decided to pick up one because basically they're the exact same figure, just with a different head sculpt. So I decided, I really don't need to spend the extra, $15 on just another figure just for a different head. So I chose the one I wanted, and that's what we're going with. So we have these four figures. I absolutely love this style of packaging. I've said this before. When these figures first came out in Wave 1, they were in a more wider, more horizontal package, and they were brown, and I'm really glad they've gone to this slimmer package. I'm a really big fan of minimal packaging, so I really dig this. As you can see, just spinning around here, each one of them have the exact same card back. You can see all the characters that are in the wave, and you will notice that there is an additional Rick Grimes figure, and that is a Walgreens exclusive, and is basically the exact same figure that came out in Series 2, but just without the hat. So I don't think I'm going to pick that guy up. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. If I can come across him at Walgreens, I may pick him up, because right here we do have a hat that comes with Carl that I'm sure would fit on Rick. So I may get rid of the one that I have and get that one. Not sure. But anyway, so here we have these figures. They all look fantastic. The McFarlane's new face scanning technology is working really well. It worked wonderfully in Series 3 with figures like Merle and Michonne, and it is here in full glory with all these characters. Each one of them have fantastic head sculpts, and in the course of the Governor, we get two heads. So let's get these guys cracked open and take a closer look and see how really awesome these figures are up close. Okay, starting to look at these figures individually, I want to start off with quite possibly who I believe is the standout figure in this wave, and that will be the Governor, for a lot of reasons. One, I think his two head sculpts make him stand out. No other figure comes with two head sculpts. I think the likeness of Morrissey is like as close to as you can get in a 4 to 5 inch figure. So I think that's really good. I think the sculpting overall over his whole body is absolutely fantastic. And if I did have one problem with this figure, is the fact that he doesn't come with a rifle like Andrea comes with. This would be a very nice inclusion if he came with something like that. But more importantly, maybe if he came with the rifle that comes with Merle. Like one of these rifles would have been really good as well. As a matter of fact, since I have two Merle figures, I will probably loan one of these guns out to the Governor. But he just looks absolutely fantastic. The sculpting overall is great, from the little key detail around his neck to his vest. The detail on the vest all over just looks fantastic, and we'll zoom in and take a closer look in just a minute. It just overall, he's fantastic. He comes with a tiny knife that goes in the sheath here. He comes with a pistol that goes in his holster over here, and of course he comes with his big that's not a knife, that's a knife. Crocodile Dundee knife, which is pretty fantastic. Crocodile Dundee. I probably shouldn't even throw that reference out. I'm just really showing my age. 37, so I probably should throw that reference out because not many younger people are going to know who that is. But anyway, so let's zoom in and take a closer look at this guy. Okay, so taking a closer look at the Governor here, you can see I've got the eye patch head sculpt on. You can see how nice the hair looks. The hair is like sculpted perfectly. Lots of like gray dusting, dry brushing throughout, giving that the look he had on the show. Very, very nice. I think it is a very nice, albeit fairly sleepy looking Governor. And you just see if I can do this all on camera without breaking the figure. His head is like really tight. I guess I'm not going to be able to. Hang on. Definitely, I love you guys, but I don't want to break the figure for you. The odd thing about these McFarlane figures is that the pegs are actually in the head, as opposed to being in the neck. So you can see here, let me see if I can show you, the peg is actually inside the head, which I think is very odd. It's an odd choice. Seems like the peg should be down in the neck, but maybe they've done testing. I don't know. It looks like it's loose on both ends, and that's good for multiple positions, but maybe that also gives it a little more flexibility and, won't break as easily. I hope that's the case. But you can see here, either head sculpt is pretty fantastic. I'm sure they only did one, and then just made the mold and then added the eye patch over it. So pretty nice. Either head sculpt you go with is absolutely fantastic. I think it's a great likeness of David Morrissey, the actor. I think he looks fantastic. But just going down through some of the other sculpting, there's that key. Of course, Penny's key. He keeps around his neck. Very nice detail. The paint on that is spot on. No sloppiness, no globbing anywhere. Oh my glob. The detail on the vest looks fantastic. You've got some nice detail here on the belt. He's got a nice weight shift sculpted into the hip. You can see the knife. It comes out of the sheath right there. You can see his pistol. It comes out of the holster. Let me move his arm out of the way. See the pistol that comes out of his holster right there. It comes out right there. Very, very nice. And nice mud and dirt on the boots. See that? Quite dirty boots. His boots almost look like they're different colors. That one's got a lot more mud and dirt on it than this one does, but that looks like a brown boot. This one looks more black. It's kind of weird. It's a dark brown on both. Maybe this one's just dirtier. Off camera, it looks a lot closer, but on camera, it's just showing up a lot different. So this guy is pretty fantastic, and he is definitely. Well, I won't say definitely because Andrea, too, is fantastic. So why don't we move on and take a closer look at Andrea? One of the things that makes the Governor so hard to say that he is definitively the standout figure in this line is, of course, Andrea, because she, too, is absolutely fantastic. From her paint apps to her sculpt to all the details on her outfit and everything she comes with, she's an absolutely fantastic figure. She even comes with the pitchfork she hasn't used since Season 2. So that's really, really cool. She comes with this nice long rifle that I may donate out to the Governor from time to time. And she comes with a pistol that actually works in this little holster. And I have to say, another thing that I really appreciate in this wave of figures, both on Andrea and on the Governor, is that their holsters actually work. I don't mean that the pistol actually fits inside the holster. That's a given. But the little strap that folds over and plugs in, it works every time with no hassle. You just fold it over and plug it in. Sometimes those things don't have a tendency to work that well. These work perfectly. So that's another standout thing. And when we zoom in, you'll actually see that you can actually remove Andrea's outer vest. So the brown vest comes off and she's left with just her white t-shirt or her white button-up shirt, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a great way to get two sculpts out of one figure. So let's zoom in and take a closer look. Okay, zooming in here on Andrea, boy, she has got a great likeness. The paint apps, the layering of the paint and the hair, her ponytail, it all looks very, very natural. This is a standout sculpt in this McFarlane line. It looks like they're really getting their computer-aided scanning and sculpting techniques down pat, because it's really starting to show off. The earlier waves of figures really suffer from likeness issues and head sculpting, and the later waves are just getting better and better and better. That's why I think we need and I know we're getting an updated Daryl soon on a motorcycle. So I'm hoping that head sculpt looks a lot better than the first one we got. And I really hope that we're going to get another Rick. I know that we've got a lot of Ricks in this wave, but we really need one that really honestly looks like Andrew Lincoln. And now that he has his beard on the show, we need a figure with a beard. So let's get to it, McFarlane. This figure is absolutely fantastic. And let me show you one of the really cool things about her is that you can actually remove her coat, her vest. It's a little cumbersome to do because it's not the most pliable of plastics, and her arms are quite tiny, and the joints on these figures are not the best. But as you can see, you can actually remove her vest, and we'll zoom out and take another look at her. But as you can see, you can take the vest off completely, and she still looks fantastic. The vest looks natural on, and she looks natural with it on or off. So that's a very, very nice detail. Like the Governor, she's kind of got a little weight shift going on in her hips, sculpted in, so it makes it look like she's kind of standing with her weight shifted on one leg, which is really nice. And I said that these holsters work, and you can see that this one is popping out, but if you get it in there, and I have fingernails too, so this is a little difficult, but if you do get it in there, it will go in and stay. So you have the working holster and pistol on her hip, which is very nice. Looks great. The pants look great. Boots look good. She's just got a very nice sculpt all the way around. Detail on the back of the shirt. Her hair, the ponytail looks great. Very well sculpted figure, and she does definitely give the governor a run for his money as best figure in this line. So let's move on to our last little hero, Carl. So the last human we're going to be reviewing in this wave is little Carl. Carl's a pretty fantastic figure. He does have his flaws, no doubt, but he's pretty fantastic. The sculpt, the likeness, it's all there. It's all coming through. Now, some people would argue, and sort of me included, that, Carl comes with the hat. He comes with a set of keys for the prison, which don't actually attach right there. By the way, I just have them kind of tucked under his shirt, and it kind of holds them so it looks like it's on his belt. He comes with a duffel bag full of guns, which is unzipped a little bit, but not all the way. And you can't really see much down in there. But there is something in there that you can see, so that was a very nice touch, having it unzipped. And he does come with a knife, which does fit in this little sheath right here on his belt. We'll look at that when we look at him closer. So what I was going to say is some people would argue, and sort of me included, that Carl should come with his pistol with the silencer on the end. That was a very iconic look for Carl. It was something that was very prevalent. It really was a big storyline in season 3 of the show, and has even become a bigger storyline now in season 4 of the show, if you're watching. And some people say Carl should have come with that, but you have to look at the responsibility of McFarlane Toys. They already push the limits of what they're making. They're putting out very bloody, very gruesome, very adult toys, which most of the time are found at a Toys R Us, which is a family store. I can't imagine that it would go over very well if McFarlane Toys started selling a figure of a little boy that came with a gun. Even though it's very show accurate, and even though it's true to the character, I can't imagine it would go over very well simply with the conversation about children and guns in this country. So while it would have been really nice for Carl to come with one, I understand why he didn't. So I'm not going to bemoan that fact any longer. Besides, there are enough pistols around that's come out in this wave for you clearly to give him one, or even makeshift a silencer on the end. But his hands are very tiny, so I'm not sure. You may have to shave down the handle for it to actually fit into his hand, because his hands are really, really tiny. So let's zoom in and take a closer look at this already awesome figure. All right, so looking at little Carl here, I'm actually holding him up because my table can't adjust any higher, and my camera tripod can't adjust any lower to get a straight-on shot of his face. So I'm going to try to hold him, and hopefully he won't be too blurry. I hope I can keep him right in that sweet spot of focus. So taking a look here, you can see the likeness is Chandler Riggs. Is that the name of the actor who plays Carl? Is really, really good. I think it's a spot on likeness, or as close as they can get in this scale of figure, because he is really short. He's basically I think he's coming in around 3 3/4 inches in size, because he has to be in scale with the 5-inch figures. So of course the sheriff's hat is removable, and so that's pretty cool. And he does have very nice hair sculpted on. Doesn't have any ridges to hold the hat, so that's kind of nice. Looks really good. Let's see if I can hold him still. Nice detail on the shirt. So it's picking up from the shirt he wore in season 2 and a little bit into season 3. One of the things I'm interested about is to see if this hat actually fits on any of the other Rick figures, because we've gotten 2 Ricks now with no hats. So I wonder how that'll work out. Nice detail, as you can see, throughout the jacket. Oh, I didn't even know this jacket had a hoodie on it. That's pretty cool. That's really cool, actually. You can see some camouflage on the inside of the hood, so that's a really nice touch. See his pants, the jeans, and his dirty boots, dirty sneakers. So really, really nice. One of the paint app choices that I don't particularly like is how dirty his hands and arms are. You can see they're quite filthy on both sides, yet his head and neck are very clean. So maybe that's McFarlane's subtle little way of saying that Carl does not mind getting his hands dirty, and anybody who's seen season 3 of the show would definitely agree. The only thing I can say that I have a problem with is if you tilt his head, you don't even have to tilt his head really that much. As you can see that I think the peg that goes between the head and the neck is a little too long, because I think the head sits on top of the neck a little too high. You can actually see where the top of the neck starts rounding out, and I think that that's wrong. It kind of looks like he has a giraffe neck. His neck's a little long, but other than that, and you can't push it down on there any tighter. I have tried. It is on there as tight as it can. So that's the only little sculpting mistake or production mistake I see. Other than that, he's a pretty fantastic figure. So, all right, let's take a closer look at the prison guard zombie, because that guy's quite creepy. So McFarlane didn't skimp this time on army builders, because he gave us not one, but two of the prison guard zombies. Now, I didn't pick both of them up because these figures are $15 a piece, and both of the prison guard zombies share the exact same body. The only thing that's different is their heads. So what I would have preferred is for McFarlane to have packed in both heads into the same package, and then we could have displayed our prison guard zombie however we wanted to. And if we wanted both, we would have to buy another package. Maybe that's a budgetary thing and cutting down on head sculpts or whatever. I don't know what the situation was, but I can say that this is one of my absolute favorite zombies that McFarlane has given us, and I didn't think it was going to be. They've given us some pretty good zombies, you know, both Michonne's pets, the well zombie, the RV zombie is really good. Even the biter zombie from Wave 1 is a fantastic zombie. But this is one of my favorites, and I didn't think it would be, simply because of the bulkiness of the body, and how it's not really zombie-like unless you look at the face. But he's absolutely fantastic. Basically, with this guy, this is knife to the neck zombie. You lift up the visor, you can see the zombie face all chewed away, and you can see a knife right in the neck, which actually is removable. You can pull the knife all the way out, and it's actually a pretty decent sized knife, as you can see, and then there's a little slit for it to slide right back in. We'll take a closer look at that when we zoom in on his face. Okay, so zooming in here on the head sculpt of this awesome prison guard zombie. Got the visor back down. You can see that it lifts up. It's got some nice blood splatter on the actual visor itself, so that's really cool. And you can see the face sculpt. I mean, you know McFarlane loves doing these zombies. These guys are pretty fantastic. You can see a nice big chunk of skin and face missing right here below the eye. There you go. You can see it there. Nice open mouth. Very, very cool. And you can see right here, I mean, and the head's got a nice range of motion to it too, so you can get these crazy kind of, what I like to do is I like to kick it off to this side, because, you know, the force of the knife going into his neck right here probably would have cracked his, either his jaw or maybe his vertebrae in a way that maybe he doesn't move his head so much, and maybe it's kind of tilted. I like kicking it to one side, but let me move these arms down and tilt up right here, so hopefully you can see this. You can see right here in the neck there's this little slit for this knife to come out, and you can see that the knife is pretty long, and you can see the wound that it goes into right there, and it goes in a pretty good fair amount. I mean, looks like it would probably rest right behind that eye up there, right past that eye, actually. So, like I said, I didn't pick up the other zombie, basically because he had like a little small piece of face that you pull off with the mask. It's like a gas mask, and you pull the gas mask off, and his face comes with it. It's a nice little gimmick. I wish I had the head. I don't need the whole body, because the bodies are identical, but just going over the body, speaking of that, nice blood splattering, nice armor. This is not only is this a very well sculpted figure, but it's also very well articulated. Probably one of the better articulated McFarlane figures. Every joint is tight and stiff. Even the ankles Everything on this guy is articulated. He's got ankle articulation. One of the things you'll notice about my reviews is I don't typically go over the articulation very much. And it's not that I don't find it important information to give. I just try to give you guys the kind of review that I would want to watch. And I have to be honest, when I watch figure reviews, which I do a lot, every time somebody gets to the articulation, I always fast forward. I always skip that part because it's like, if it's, like this guy, we know how these McFarlane toys are articulated. We know how they're articulated. We have seen them over and over and over again. So it's like, if it's a Star Wars figure or a Transformer, it's like, we know how those figures are articulated. We know what's worked in. If there's a problem with the articulation, point it out. If there's something special about their articulation, point it out. And I try to, but that's typically why I skip the articulation, on videos. So if you guys have ever wondered, if you guys want to see articulation, let me know in the comments below. If enough people start saying they want it, maybe I'll work it in. But yeah, this guy just looks fantastic. This is, like I said, when I saw the prototypes, I was like, meh, I'll pass on those prison guard zombies. I don't really need them. But I went ahead and picked one up, just so because I was on vacation when I picked these figures up, and I was like, I gotta have a bad guy to play with. And so I picked this guy up, and boy, am I glad I did, because he just looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's hard to believe that sculpt and all this detail is on like a 5-inch figure. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, all right, let's take a one more look at the whole group of these figures before we close this thing down. Okay, so this is a pretty stellar wave. Everybody from the governor down to Carl, down to even the prison guard zombies are just absolutely fantastic. This is a wonderful wave of figures that's clearly, squarely cemented in season 3 of the show, and the next wave is going to be clearly a season 3/season 4 show. So wave. So I'm really happy that McFarlane is sort of tackling these figures in sort of the waves that kind of correspond with the shows. That being said, kind of makes me feel a little bad that we won't ever go back in time and get a proper Shane, or maybe a I don't even know who else I would want from seasons 1 or 2. But, this means moving forward, we'll probably get a Herschel. We know we're getting Glenn and Maggie, and Tyrese next wave. So man, these lines just keep getting better and better and better. So as long as McFarlane keeps putting out stellar figures, as long as the show keeps on rocking, which I know it's gonna, then I'm gonna keep collecting these figures. So that's gonna about do it for this review. I hope you guys, I hope you dig the figures, dig the reviews, and if you do, please throw a couple of likes or comments our way, and maybe even a couple of subscriptions. That'd be fantastic. So be sure to check out Ungrownups.com for your daily news drops, and for our toy reviews will be there, and check out our podcast, which is new every 3 weeks over at Ungrownups.com. So until next time, peace.